You sat in silence, staring at the ceiling, wondering how life collapsed so quickly. Tears rolled down without permission, falling heavier than words you never said. You checked your phone again, no messages, just emptiness staring back. Every corner of your room felt like a reminder of what you lost. Your chest tightened. Breathing felt like carrying the weight of the world. Friends stopped calling. The silence grew louder than any crowd. Loneliness wrapped around you like chains you couldn't break. The bed became your prison, and mornings felt heavier than nights. The mirror showed someone you didn't recognize anymore. The laughter you once carried vanished, replaced by hollow stares. Memories of love replayed like broken records in your head. You begged for one more chance, but the world stayed cold. Coffee went cold on the table. You couldn't find the strength to drink it. Every heartbeat felt slower, as if life itself was punishing you. You asked yourself, why me? Why now? The streets outside were alive, but inside you were fading. You avoided people because their smiles reminded you of your pain. Your favorite songs now felt like weapons against your heart. Dreams that once kept you awake now disappeared into dust. Even the clock ticking made you anxious, as if time mocked you. Nights stretched endlessly, filled with restless tossing and turning. You wondered if the pain would ever stop or if it was forever. Your phone lit up. It wasn't them. It never was. You woke up one morning. You looked in the mirror, and all you saw was a ghost staring back. Tired of feeling like a shadow, you whispered, "Not today." Today you would be more than okay. The first step out of bed felt like climbing a mountain. Each breath was a battle, but you made it to the sink. The water felt like renewal as it touched your skin. You splashed some on your face and took a deep breath. Still here, still alive. You thought, feeling the water cascade down your chin, you were still alive, and that gave you something to hold on to. With trembling hands, you wrote down one thing you were grateful for on a fresh page of your journal. The pen in your hand felt like a weapon against the despair threatening to engulf you. You wrote, "I can write." The smallest progress felt like a monumental victory, like carving out a piece of hope from the darkness that wanted to consume you. Then you walked outside for the first time in days. Sunlight stung your skin, but it felt like hope itself touching you, reminding you that the world hadn't ended, only your chapter had. The street looked the same, yet everything in you had changed. Each step you took felt like reclaiming a part of yourself that had been lost, like finding your way back to the surface of the water after being submerged in the depths of despair. A small smile tugged at your lips as you crossed the street. A stranger smiled back, their teeth flashing like a burst of sunshine. In that brief moment of connection, you remembered that even in the darkest times, a simple smile could be a beacon of light, a reminder that humanity and kindness still existed in the world. When you opened your journal again, the blank page stared back, daunting yet inviting. With shaky hands, you poured out your pain onto the paper, letting the ink flow like tears. The pages became your therapist, absorbing your heartache, your fears, your anger, and your sadness. As the sun began its descent, you knew you had to move. Exercise felt like an impossible task, but you pushed yourself to do one push-up. Your body shook, mirroring the turmoil within, but your spirit refused to quit. One push-up turned into 2, then 3, until you collapsed on the floor, your muscles aching, your heart pounding, your skin flushed, your hair damp with sweat. The physical exertion became your therapy, your release. Music, which had been your escape, became healing again. Different songs, new energy. You fed your body even when food felt tasteless and joyless. You coaxed it with tiny portions, celebrating every bite as if it were a feast. You spoke kindly to yourself for the first time in weeks, acknowledging the bravery it took to get out of bed, to take a shower, to feed yourself. You whispered words of comfort and encouragement, reminding yourself that you were worthy of love and happiness. Looking at your reflection, you saw scars, moments etched onto your skin and soul. But instead of seeing them as wounds, you realized they were proof of survival. Your legs carried you farther each day. Walking became strength. You walked around the block, then 2 blocks, then farther, letting your feet map out your journey toward healing. You picked up a book on resilience, its words mirroring your struggle and offering guidance. Failure wasn't the end, it was the teacher. The biggest battles were fought within, and you were slowly emerging victorious. The storm inside you began to quiet down. Your tears no longer meant weakness, but cleansing. They were the rain that watered the seeds of your strength. One day in your room, overwhelmed by a wave of emotion, you shouted, letting the pain out. It echoed within you. That scream became the start of your healing. It was the breaking of the dam holding back your emotions. You reached out to a friend who didn't judge you or offer empty platitudes. Talking about your pain felt like medicine you had forgotten existed, a balm for your wounded soul. The walls of loneliness began to crack, allowing friendship and love to seep through. You deleted those old messages that haunted you, the ones that whispered doubts and fears. It hurt, but it felt like freedom. Each message you deleted was like ripping off a Band-Aid, leaving behind raw skin that would soon heal. You started seeing possibility in tomorrow again. Dreams slowly returned, appearing in fragments in your sleep. You clung on to them, nurturing them, allowing them to guide you toward the light. You whispered to your reflection, "I promise never to quit on myself again." The mirror didn't seem like an enemy anymore. It reflected your truth. You were broken, but you were healing. You were hurting, but you were strong. You were lost, but you were finding your way back. People began to notice the change in your eyes. The spark wasn't gone. It had been buried under layers of pain, but now it was reborn, shining through your smile. You stopped asking, "Why me?" and started asking, "What now?" Your journal pages filled with victories instead of pain, each entry a testament to your resilience. You realized you had survived the worst already. If you could endure heartbreak, you could endure anything. The pain became your teacher, shaping you, molding you, making you stronger. What didn't kill you made you rise. You became addicted to growth, not misery. You craved challenges that pushed you, that made you dig deeper within, that made you rise from the ashes like a phoenix. The same silence that once hurt you became your peace. You found lessons in your heartbreak instead of wounds. You smiled, not because everything was fine, but because you were stronger. The pain transformed into fuel, propelling you forward. You stood taller than before, your scars glowing like medals, each one telling a story of battles fought and won. Hope wasn't a stranger anymore. It lived inside you, whispering that even in the darkest nights, the sun would rise again. This wasn't the end of your story. It was the beginning. You looked at your scars and whispered, "Thank you for making me stronger." Every wound told a story of survival. The heartbreak that once destroyed you became your reason to fight. You built yourself piece by piece, like a masterpiece reborn. The same room that once held your pain now held your dreams. You chased goals you once thought impossible. Every small win felt like redemption. You laughed genuinely for the first time in months. Your smile wasn't force, it was freedom. You realized the heartbreak didn't end you. It introduced you to yourself. Your failures became stepping stones, not barriers. People looked at you and said, "You've changed." They didn't know how much it cost to rise again. You became an example of resilience. Your story inspired others silently. The chains that once bound you now lay broken at your feet. You no longer chased what broke you. You chased growth. Happiness returned slowly, but this time it was unshakable. The mirror reflected not pain, but strength. The voice in your head now said, "You are enough." Every morning became a chance to rewrite your story. Your passion returned stronger than ever. The pain became your teacher, not your prison. You built dreams bigger than your heartbreak. Your walk carried confidence, not sorrow. The darkness once feared now bowed before your light. The people who left became memories, not anchors. The new people who came cherished the new you. You learned that love begins within. Your scars didn't scare you anymore, they guided you. Every setback reminded you of your comeback. You stood unshaken, unbroken, unstoppable. You whispered, "I made it through." The world looked at you as proof. Resilience is real. The heartbreak that once buried you had transformed you into gold. You were no longer a victim, you were the rise itself. This wasn't the end. It was only the beginning of greatness.